Project 2025.
Project 2025.
Project 2025.
It is really designed to help his buddies. It is designed to help wealthy Americans.
He told executives the amount of money they would save in taxes and legal expenses after he repealed regulations would more than cover $1 billion contribution.
Benefit, the people at Mar-a-Lago and not, working people in neighborhoods all across the country.
Whose side are you on? The side of the American people or the side of drug companies? When you make it easier for drug companies to take advantage of the American people.
An investigation into the cost of prescription drugs reveals huge price hikes over the past 5 years. Several brand name medications more than doubled in price.
It gets rid of overtime. It gets rid of all sorts of protections for organizing and the rights of association.
That 900-page document should scare the hell out of anybody who works for a living.
Telling the average American worker and family, you're on your own.
That is who he is and Project 2025 are catering to, not the American people.
You're the greatest cutter. I mean, I look at what you do. You walk in and you just say, you want to quit? They go on strike. I won't mention the name of the company, but they go on strike and you say, that's okay, you're all gone.
When unions were at their peak in the 50s and the 60s, we had a growing middle class.
Project 2025 is a union-busting plan.
What we do is we help people have a better, bigger piece of the economic pie.
I was a single dad raising my son. I had an opportunity to join the IBW. Not only did they give me the skill sets I need to take care of my son, take care of my family, but it also gave me the opportunity to have some of the greatest health care ever and to retire with dignity.
Trump's Project 2025 would allow for him to put and install lackeys and loyalists at the NLRB, which would, of course, make it harder to unionize and easier to decertify unions.
They'll get rid of Davis-Bacon. What does that mean? It means basically all the construction trades, prevailing wages. All of a sudden, wages will go way down for anything that we build.
It's remarkable. They're fighting to lower wages in their own districts.
It is a plan to help corporations, and it is a plan to restrict the rights and the freedoms of average Americans.
OSHA, the very thing that saves people's lives when they go to work each and every day. They want to defund it before it was in place. We saw workplace deaths that are almost 6 times what they are today.
If you hadn't actually read it, you wouldn't believe it.
Let Obamacare fail, and then everybody's going to have to come together and fix it and come up with a new plan.
When you look at the accomplishments of the Biden-Harris administration, there are a lot.
After decades of promises to curb skyrocketing costs, Democrats say relief from healthcare inflation is on the way.
Some examples are reducing prescription drug prices dramatically, including the price of insulin to a cap of $35 per month.
We are so proud that we have been able to give Medicare the power to negotiate prescription drug prices.
If Project 2025 were implemented, none of that would continue. The prescription drug price cap would go away.
They want to do away with the government's ability to negotiate for drug prices. Are you kidding me?
Prescription drug costs would go up, healthcare coverage would be cut, and we would go back to the old days before the Affordable Care Act.
The ACA protects families and children who have pre-existing conditions so they can't get denied health insurance, they can't get denied health care. And Project 2025 wants to get rid of that.
It would implement a lifetime cap on Medicaid, which tens of millions of Americans, half of all children, depend on for their healthcare access.
Before the Inflation Reduction Act and before the Affordable Care Act, tens of millions more Americans had no health insurance at all, and that those who did have health insurance didn't have protections.
You want to make sure that your kid can go to the doctor or the hospital when they get sick. We're not going to help you.
We're going to make it harder for children to get the health care they need. I don't know how you can agree with that.
And I love all people, rich or poor, but in those particular positions, I just don't want a poor person. Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
Project 2025 is predicated on figuring out what is in the best interest of large corporate special interests.
The tax plan would lower the effective tax rate for the wealthiest Americans significantly, but actually raise taxes for working people.
It would eliminate overtime pay so that workers who work more than their 40 hours a week and get time and a half or 2 times would not be able to get the extra pay.
Eliminates credits, tax deductions, things that actually help working families pay for childcare, pay for food, pay for rent.
The child tax credit that was included in the American Rescue Plan what reduced child poverty by more than 40%. It was the most successful child poverty reduction program in the history of our country.
So what he's going to do is literally increase taxes on working people and take money out of the pockets of working families.
It would make our tax system even more unfair.
Some estimates say that up to $4,000 more income tax will be paid by the average American.
While at the same time, if your household has an income of $10 million a year, your taxes would be cut by an average of $1.5 million.
They want to keep what they have, and they do not want broad-based prosperity.
When you take away overtime pay, when you take away union guarantees of a living wage, when you increase drug prices, when you increase taxes on average Americans, the net effect is that it will solely benefit the uber wealthy and large corporations, and it will hurt everyday Americans.